Hello and welcome back. Today is the early access event for Edge of Eternities, which means I have 24 hours to play with a whole bunch of new cards before you guys get them to help you guys figure out what you want to craft on day one. This last video I did went 7-1 with a New Age Azorius Artifacts deck. It's going to be really strong, so check that video out if you haven't already after this one. For this next video, we're going to do Mono Black Aggro. This is interesting because Mono Black has lost a lot of pieces. Cut Down has rotated. Go for the Throat has rotated, Sheldur's Edict has rotated, and then Disfigure has rotated, although I guess Stab is the equivalent. Also, Gix Yawgmoth Praetor, the 3-drop that lets you draw a card every time you deal damage with any number of creatures, has also rotated. So a lot of key pieces of this deck have rotated, but we also have a lot of interesting new tools. So we have Tragic Trajectory instead of Cut Down for a single black at sorcery speed, not instant. This is a huge difference. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. But if you can activate Void, that creature gets -10/-10 until end of turn instead if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, although we are not doing a whole lot of warping. So if we can cause the opponent to trade in combat or one of our creatures dies on our turn or something, post-combat we can fire off this sorcery and hopefully -10/-10 annihilate something. It's not Cut Down, it's different, but it is the replacement, and we're going to see how it does here today. The other cards that are new are the Sunset Saboteur. We're going to see how this does. Could potentially be extremely good. It's a 2-mana 4/1 Menace, Human Rogue. It's got Ward, discard a card, so it only has 1 toughness, but it's got Menace. So either they need to double block it, in which case they could very well lose 2 cards to 4 power, or they need to target it with a removal spell, like their own Tragic Trajectory or Burst Lightning or whatever, in which case we also 2-for-1 them. So it's very possible this 2-for-1s the opponent a lot of the time, and if they don't deal with it, it's a 4/1 2-drop, which hits very hard. Whenever this creature attacks, put a +1 counter on target creature and opponent control. So this is the downside. We are buffing our opponent's creatures. Maybe not good against aggro opponents, but against control opponents, there's basically no downside. So this is going to be a very interesting card. We're going to run 3 of it here today. It is a rare. And then lastly, we're going to try out the Timeline color. It's black and a black for a 2/2 with haste, which is interesting in black. You may cast this card from your graveyard using its warp ability. So it's in the graveyard. You can warp it in for a black mana and 2 life. It would come in with haste, and then on end step, you would exile it, and then you could cast it back normally a subsequent turn. So pretty interesting. I'm just going to throw one of in here. I'll get to why in a second. We're also, the last new card we have in the main deck is the Elegy Alkaloid, which is effectively the replacement to the 3-drop Gix Yawgmoth Praetor. This is 4 mana for a 4/4 creature human cleric with lifelink. This matters. Very different from Gix. Gix, you start attacking every turn, you lose a whole bunch of life. There are some opponents where you just get annihilated. This one has lifelink, and it's a 4/4. So it blocks pretty well and attacks pretty well. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to player, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Okay, so actually we're only getting 1 trigger here per attack, whereas Gix, I think you get multiple. That's too bad. It's got Void at the beginning of your end step. If a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or a spell was warped this turn, create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. Okay, so kind of cool. So actually, it's probably a little bit less good than Gix, because Gix, you could draw a card for every single creature of yours that dealt damage, whereas this is whenever 1 or more creatures deal damage. So we're only getting 1 draw unless we have like double strike in play. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll see. The only thing that's difficult about this deck construction is in general when you play cards like the Elegy Alkaloid or Gix Yawgmoth Praetor or the Enduring Curiosity, where you get rewarded for creatures damaging the opponent so you can draw cards, you want to run lots of creatures, which doesn't leave a lot of space for removal spells. So ideally you run creatures that double as removal spells like the Deep Cavern Bat. But for the early access event today, I've had to cut the bat to make space for the fun new cards. So that's a little bit interesting. I think if I were to optimize this in true best of 1, we'll see how these cards do, but I would like to make space for more bats. Another thing that's interesting is since we're only running 21 land, but still running a lot of 3-drops and 4-drops as well, we're priced into playing a lot of Dark Confidant because you really need this to help hit your land drops on time if you're going to cut it this tight. So there are different ways to build the deck. You could cut some Corpses of the Lost, although it plays kind of funnily with some of the skeletons in here. You could make some space for some other 2-drops in there. You could up the land a little bit. We'll see how the Elegy Alkaloid performs. Maybe it's not good enough to replace Gix because you only get 1 card draw, but that's what we're running here today. Some other cool cards from the set that you could try to find space for, but I have not, would be Hymn of the, the Hilder Blade, a 1-mana artifact. Creature gets +3/+1. You can equip it for free if you have Void at the beginning of your end step. So that's potentially a cheap equip for +3/+1. Hits very hard. And then I think there's one other that was kind of interesting. The Faller's Faithful is interesting. A 3-mana 3/1. When it enters, destroy up to 1 other target creature. either your creature or your opponent's creature. If that creature wasn't dealt damage this turn, its controller draws 2 cards. So if you kill your own creature and it hasn't been dealt damage, you could sack like a duplicate legendary Cecil, you could sack a miner you can get back anyway, and then you just draw on 2 cards, which is not so bad. Or you can take out your opponent's creature. If it hasn't been dealt damage and they just draw 2 cards, which is a little dangerous. If it has been dealt damage, they don't get anything. So you could like attack in with a miner, they block it, and then you could kill their creature that way. So it is interesting. I don't think I'm going to gambit on it today. I feel like it's going to be a little bit hit or miss. So we're going to throw some corpses in there instead, but definitely could play around with this card. Requiem Monolith, also a very interesting draw engine. I don't think it's going to be that good in this particular deck because a lot of our creatures have exactly 1 toughness, like the Saboteur, like the Bat, like the Dark Confidant, like the Tiny Bones. So if we have creatures with more toughness, you can like deal damage to your own creature to draw cards, but maybe this isn't the right home for it. I'm not sure. And lastly, there's Temporal Intervention, which is potentially Thoughtseize in Standard. If there's Void, it costs 2 less to cast, so it's only a black, just like Thoughtseize. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose any non-land card, that player discards it. So could be very good, but you have to trigger Void to make it nice and cheap. So this is what we're going to start with. We'll see how it goes. I'm curious to see how the Saboteur does. And yeah, we'll have some fun. We'll play some early access Edge of Eternities Standard. Okay, events. Early access best of 1. Oh, I have to claim my prize, which is irrelevant, I think. I got no prize. Okay. And then we enter, we choose the deck, and we got to find it because these cards aren't crafted. Oh, there we go. Black aggro. Okay. Cool. Round 2. We'll see how this deck does. A very similar list to this did either 5-0 to standard league event or won some challenge event or something. So I did cover it, and I had a lot of success with it in probably like top 25 ranked mythic best of 3 standard. And so this is my attempt at kind of tweaking it up and seeing if we can get it working post rotation. Sure, looks actually very good here. We'll keep this. We're up against the Paco El Flaco. Green, I mean, turn 1 duress doesn't seem that useful, but we have sorcery speed trajectory, so we have no choice. We'll see if we find anything here. Nope. It is no new cards, Gruel Delirium. And we're on the draw. Okay, that would die to cut down, but is not going to die to tragic trajectory. All right, the Saboteur's ready to go, but oh man, since we're on the draw, that feels rough, right? We put a +1 counter on their creature. I do not like that at all. Dark Confidant as an option as well. I guess we just take their 2-drop here though and hope they don't have anything else. Overprotect and the Curator. We take the Curator here. But they will eventually get 4 mana for the Worm. Alright. I guess we could kill that if we wanted to. But their deck is specifically very good against the trajectory because they have mostly actually 3 toughness creatures. Okay, they're relatively tapped out. I guess we'll Dark Confidant. I don't think I want to put a +1 counter. Next turn, they're going to Worm us for a 5/5 haste, which sucks. It's 5/5. Yeah, we can't even really block it that well. This one gives the next creature haste, which actually doesn't matter. And then it's going to die the turn after that, right? The miner can't block anyway. Ugh, is all I have to say about this. This is kind of a waste because this thing's going to die anyway, and they already got their value out of it. Okay. If we could find a way to void on our own turn, we could -10 the fear missing out, but we don't have a way to no blocks, have a non-land permanent leave the battlefield on our own turn for sorcery speed. So it's interesting. It's no cut down. Land off the top, I'll take it. Okay, Cecil can actually trade. They have a tap land, so this trades with the Worm, which is nice. Finality counter, yeah, okay. Overprotect doesn't untap. I think we're good to go on the attack here. I don't think anyone's getting flashed in. I'll be sad if they do. Alright, Death Touch blocks pretty well. We can also block with this 4/1 on something. And we'll get the miner down as well. This guy cannot block. But like, we could block the Cecil to the Worm and the Saboteur to the Fear. If they attack empty here, then it's to hold open Overprotect. In which case, we don't technically have to block with anything. Hexproof, Trample, and Indestructible. Okay, Maverick. So they're holding Overprotect. They're not going for the big worm turn, I guess. One, I think, they surveilled both to the grave. They could still go land worm, right? They haven't played land for turn yet, I think. Put a +1 there, make it a 2/2. Tap land. They're just holding Overprotect here. They don't attack, though. They let us draw every turn for free. We, of course, draw a lot of land in our 21 land deck. If we attack, we give them a counter. Doesn't give reach, right? Just trample, hexproof, and indestructible. I think we're largely chilling. We can even make a fish to, like, chump block something at some point. I don't want to throw away Cecil just yet until we see Overprotect gone, I guess. Saboteur does trade with one of them. I think it's just this, and we hope the Fountain Port can get there. Ultimately, we are drawing extra cards every turn. Eventually, we'll draw a Shoot the Sheriff. But they don't know we don't have anything in hand. They could be afraid to Overprotect, I guess, into a Shoot the Sheriff. We could also secretly play Cut Down in the early access event, but that would be a bit of a D-bag move. Okay, they fight this guy. You got it. They get back their 3/3, which can probably pretty easily become a 7/7, unfortunately. They play the 5/5. They're tapped out. All right, who's getting in there? Who's coming in? Just you? Okay, so we can trade with Cecil, I guess. If we let it go, drop to 5. There's a chance we could flip Cecil. Feels like we want to block this, though. Feels like, in theory, we just hold on with Dark Confidant and hope our draw engine gets us there. Both die. That one goes to grave. We can make a treasure and then sack it to draw. Another Saboteur. Trajectory. If a non-land permanent left the battlefield, so we could sack the treasure, draw a card. So we're good to attack with both of these guys right now. And still have 3 mana to go. I guess we hope they actually choose to block one of these guys. This is the one we want to kill. I don't think we're going to block that, though. Okay, so we should be able to Tragic Trajectory away the fear. -10, -10. And we play another creature. We're down to 14. Lots of hasty worms. They're down to 11, though. We have 8 damage with Menace. We have 10 damage off the Confidant. So, we still don't have lethal quite. I think there's no blocks this time. I think we are keeping the Confidant around. They'll play a blocker. Even if we top deck removal, I don't think it's lethal yet. Corpses gives the Miner +1 as well, which is interesting. Down to 6. Another Corpses. Double Corpses do it. Double Corpses. I think so, right? They go block, block, take 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think that does it. Okay. Right, block both these guys. I think it's a lot of damage, yeah. Sure. I don't care. Block, block. Take 14 damage. Alright, I'm kind of surprised we got there. The scoop. Won't let me go to damage. That was interesting. Did the 4-1s shine? If they were the bat instead, I feel like we'd be doing better. Just as we go, I'm going to kind of narrate out loud how good I think the 4-1 is. Obviously, there's a lot of damage at the end there, but if every one of those was a bat, I think they would have had a harder time dealing with us. We would have taken the worm preemptively. We could have taken overprotect. Yeah, we didn't draw into our Gix. We hit plenty of land that game, interestingly enough. The Wild Man 101. On the play with no 1-drop. Sad, but acceptable. I mean, we have lots of land. We got the new Gix card, so I'm okay with that. Turn 1 swamp. You can warp this in? I guess you do that, right? Just play it back for 2 next turn. Okay. I think that's how that works. I didn't realize you could do it from hand, too. I thought you could only do it from graveyard. So now it gets exiled. This is my first time warping something. Cool animation. So now it's just chilling over here. You may cast this card from your graveyard using its warp ability, but you can also just regular warp. Okay, so here's the question of, do we just shut down the ramp immediately with a tragic trajectory? It's just maybe. I know that's not as exciting, but they have a big chunky 3-drop. I think you'd rather do this, even though we're kind of trying to be in the aggro opponent here. Okay, so we did potentially shut down their play. They do have blue open. I'm still going to go ahead and go for the Preacher here. I'm not aware they're running a counterspell. Not yet. It's pretty hard for blue and green to kill a 2/4. Then we can run out the Elegy. Red as well. Alright, Teamer question mark. So Elegy actually doesn't get better over time. 1 or more creatures. Yeah, so we just slam the Elegy here, I guess. If we get multiple draws, I'd play the other 2 first. But we'll do it this way. Double triggers, equal life. We get a 1/1 and we draw a card. Drop to 17. And then drop to 16. Okay. I mean, I'm kind of afraid of this. 4 open mana in Teamer. There's no sweeper yet, though. So we're about to find out if there is one. And even if we take it off the bat, feels like we might have a red removal spell to kill the bat in response. Holy moly. Smuggler, Surprise, River Regent. What does this do? Creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Permanent gains haste. I guess you take the Surprise? They're going to River Regent this turn. Yeah, I think you take the Surprise here. Alright, this guy has haste. I guess you could come in if you feel like it. It's pretty similar to the Saboteur, yeah? Alright, we get in there. We're actually tied for life again, which is funny. So we get both triggers. Opponent drops to 7 with no sweeper in hand. We go up to 20 off of the lifelink off the Elegy, which is nice. I do like that. Draw a single card. Okay, big draw step for the opponent. Can they hit a sweeper like a ill-timed explosion is I think what they most want. They need 4 damage to kill all the goodies. Nope. I don't think that does it. Block here, take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we got lethal by a good margin. Human Rogue doesn't have haste, but these guys all are good to go. Right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Draw a card. Is that the blocker? Never didn't have it. Lethal any which way. Ended up being the, I think probably being the right call to zap the elf early. Just slow them down a little bit. Probably similar plays. I think that was maybe slightly the ideal play. Okay, 2-0 running mono black. Again, how do I feel about the 4-1 versus the bat? I'm still leaning towards the bat personally. Let me know in the comments what you think. Doom Wake with the mermaid, merfolk swimsuit baddie outfit. We're on the play. We have a removal spell. We got all sorts of good stuff here. Yeah, we keep this. There's a chance if we Tiny Bones, we trajectory their 1-drop and immediately play it. So I guess we can Tiny Bones here first. Or we could go for more damage with the Forsaken Miner, which is also totally acceptable. But we're going to go for this. No. Okay. We discard... I mean, we like the trajectory, honestly. I think we discard the Miner, I guess, and go Saboteur this turn. Get that guy back anyway. Okay. This is blue and black discard. Touch the Saboteur, touch the Tiny Bones. Dude's rocking the surfboard. Okay, fast land, any color. Could be a 3-color deck. Or maybe they just need that. Shoot the Sheriff showing up. That's all we got, though. Swing in. Nowhere to run on who? Aha! Shuts down the ward cost. Alright, good for you. We have nobody of use to trajectory. If we name our own creature, I don't even think it's productive. Like, there's no way to even get back the Forsaken Miner, I think. We gotta target them somehow. Manual taps on colorless. Kieran comes down. Pick up nowhere to run. Pick up the Tiny Bones, okay. Who are we discarding now? Maybe the trajectory? Trajectory is not looking bad with our current setup. I think we discard the corpses, honestly. Because removal spells plus Tiny Bones could actually go pretty far. So we zap you. We don't have any mana left, sadly. But we can attack and play it back with... Alright, well, this third land anyway. Yeah, maybe we're just getting Preacher down here. You could get the Kieran, but I don't know what the point of that is. I think I'd rather get the Preacher, try to draw some more cards. Decline? Hopefully that just stays down there. You may cast or... yeah, decline, okay. Shock in Godless Shrine. Cosmo Grand Zenith, cast their second spell per turn, make a bunch of 1/1s. Okay. I guess we attack all here and then Tragic Trajectory. They will kill the Tiny Bones, but then we get to kill the Zenith, which is maybe important. We kind of need the draw off the Preacher. Duress is kind of relevant, I guess. Okay. So we duress away something. They can't kill the 2/4 yet. Yep, we got this guy too. Nowhere to run, stock up. I guess it's stock up here. And then we minus 10 you. And we play land. And we're left over with a 2/4 Preacher. They had a land, last 2 cards are nowhere to run. So they can actually kill the Preacher if we attack with it. So do we throw away the Preacher just to get a card is the question. We literally get nothing out of it. We do get a card though. And we have to get through it eventually, and we're unlikely to... oh, gosh, we'd have to hit another removal spell. I think we wait. I think we wait. We can attack with the Miner. You can get in there. I don't think I want to throw away the Preacher for another card. feel like it gets better over time. Let's see if they kill this thing. Drop to 9. We won't discard that to the Tiny Bones thing. So Nowhere to Run drops it to a 0/1, and then the 1/1 just eats it. They hit land 2. Does this guy gonna do anything? Okay, that's pretty good. They now want to block the miner. Which they obviously don't want to do. So I think we get in with the miner here, just the miner again. Let's see if they want to trade anyone for this. Again, I don't think I want to throw away the Preacher. I might throw away the Preacher next turn. Just to get a draw out of it. We can't even play anything we draw off the Preacher this turn, really. So give us a card draw or not. So we get the card draw here, but we likely can't even cast it, right? So actually they just Tiny Bones here and we discard it. Which is fine, but not ideal. Scoop! Okay, sure. Did I have fun? I guess. Pixies is never great, but as much fun as you can have against Pixies, I suppose so. That was weird. That was weird. That was a weird game of Magic. Yeah, it's interesting to see. It feels like we're really missing Cut Down. The instant speed is so nice. Life is much more awkward when you have to void first. I think I'm pretty happy not including the equipment where you need to void. Because, gosh, feels like 9. A lot of times it probably is going to sit there unequipped. I think it costs 4 mana to manually equip if you can't hit void on end step. 2 lander on the play. It's good enough. We really want that 3rd land, but I keep this. Land for turn, Tiny Bones for turn. Tap land, okay. Here comes the Saboteur. It's 19. One more land would be cool. It is Esper, maybe control? Could be Esper Pixies too. Next land is nice. I think we drop the corpses here. You think they're gonna kill my Preacher? I kind of feel like I don't want my Preacher to die. Let's see if they let us do this. I don't really know what they're playing yet. Okay. Nowhere to run someone before this resolves. They, again, have an answer to the ward, which is ridiculous. I guess what's happening is that, since other black removal spells are gone, like Go for the Throat and Edict, people just have to play, Nowhere to Run. So people are incentivized to run a card that happens to eat the ward off the Sunset Saboteur. So it's not just we're getting unlucky, it's like the new meta will include that. Alright, so they're Esper Pixies, essentially. Pick up Nowhere to Run, run it back. I think we just corpses again. Do we want to throw away Tiny Bones? If we shoot the Sheriff and get down the Miner, how's that? I don't really have too many cards we want to shoot the Sheriff more with, right? I guess we just keep doing this, honestly. Descend is put into graveyard or what? Put into graveyard. Okay, so if they trade with the Tiny Bones, just get it back. Maybe this time we don't do it. No, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll take that value. Land off the top would be pretty nice into the Miner too. It's a lot of hasty skeleton damage. They have their next land as well. 2 mana open for Nowhere to Run. We do hit the land. That's pretty freaking sweet, if you ask me. Corpses. Hasty Skeleton. Forsaken Miner, also Hasty Skeleton. Pretty nasty here. They just don't want to kill the Miner, because that returns the lost back to our hand. We're close enough to lethal that I think we want to leave it down at this point. I returned it last time because I don't know if we're going to be able to play another creature. Because if the tokens die, I don't think we descend. Nah, you don't want to kill the Miner. We get that back for free. No, that's not the one you want to kill. Are we returning it again? Yeah, I think so. If we don't, technically we have lethal next turn. But we're having a good time so far, right? I mean, they're having a very hard time getting through this. We're at 17. Technically, if you hit land, you leave it down, you go Corpses removal spell, have 8 damage for lethal. But they're having a really hard time getting through this. Corpses are lost. This town bounce is banned. Use over it. Skeleton Tribal to the face. I think we've gone undefeated so far. I feel like we're like 4-0 or something. I claim whatever this useless prize is. Yeah, I think we're currently 4-0. If only the qualifier weekends were this easy. So yeah, the ward, that's an interesting reflection on the use of the ward on the 4-1. If all the other removal spells have been rotated out from black and people have to run more and know where to run, that makes all warded creatures that much worse. We're on the draw with Trajectory, which isn't the worst place to be. It's better on the draw because we can actually use it on turn 1. At sorcery speed. Tap land, no target. Okay. Rakdos Surveil, immediately thinking Reanimator. It's left on top. We got no targets for Trajectory. I do like the warp animation. I think that's pretty sick when it opens up like the rift in the middle of the screen. Alright, drawing cards, scrying cards. But maybe they don't have any creatures. Maybe Saboteur is just a 2-mana 4-1. That chonks pretty hard. Alright, they do have to pay the ward cost this time, so we actually get the 2-for-1 out of it. But if they're Reanimator, they're not. Okay. They actually would get value out of that. Okay. I think I would just want to slam the Preacher and start drawing cards. 2-mana open and black. They could kill the Preacher. Or they could just take the Maze Mind Tome. I'm going to go ahead and play the Preacher here. I feel like they just want to take their Maze Mind draw. Yep. We'll see if they can kill the 4 toughness creature. I don't know. But they run blue and have not needed the blue yet. Okay, there's a blue. We still don't know what they are at all. We know literally nothing. Other than they run Grim Bauble, which makes you think Pixie, and Maze Mind Tome, which makes you think Control. So we have no idea what's going on. Touch the Preacher. Read the Preacher. Become the Marble. If you know what quote that, you know what that's from? Be the Marble, become the Marble. Leave a comment. Then you're an OG. Decisions. They could sack the Bauble to scry. They could draw off the Tome. They could scry off the Tome. All right, Chandra comes down. I can't remember if she can make a blocker or not. I want to say no.
I'm a winner. Check out these weird.
Until end of turn, right? Flying in haste. Is that it?
We can go even
Okay. Attacks the player with the most life. Yeah, I'm down to do that to start. I think Corpses would be 3 damage to Chandra. We could kill Chandra right now, I guess. Yeah, maybe that's not that bad. They're not really anticipating that. I mean, if they're counting on us not be able to kill Chandra, and that was part of their decision making, then maybe we're happy to eliminate her, even though it's not quite as mana efficient. But we don't get the Preacher trigger, which is the sad part. All right, Chandra down. Oh, we do. Attacks. Oh, I thought it was attacks the player. Whenever this creature attacks the player with the most life, create a 1/1.
Still gonna win.
Okay.
Somehow.
Whenever this creature attacks, total. That's so interesting. So the first one is only to the player. You can only get the 1/1 if you attack the player. But if you attack anything at all, including a planeswalker, you actually get the draw. Which I did not realize. 5th land, Shocked In. That's not good. I don't know what this card does. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, investigate. Activated abilities of artifacts you control cause 1 less to activate. Okay, so like Maze Mind Tome's now only 1, which is pretty good. Enigma Jewel will help them do stuff as well. Looks like we're gonna bat here first. I don't think they're gonna... I guess they're just gonna take the draw, right? Pretty sure they don't have a removal spell, but I guess we should check just in case. If we could find a way to descend right here, we could Tragic Trajectory, but we can't. So this card is interesting. It ain't no cut down. If there's audio in the background, there's construction nearby. I apologize for that. Food Fight. 2 sack this artifact, deal damage +1. Okay, okay. Fine. Okay. See what kind of blocks we get, if any. The Dark Confidant, alright. They crew the 3/2. They trade with the skeleton token. Does that count as descend? I think it does. Right? This little thing means we have descended, I think. Oh man, how can I tell? I feel like that's new, right? Ah, shit. Oh, non-land permanent left. Yeah, that's different. That's different. Okay. We'll just zap this guy. And then we can either Saboteur for lots of damage, or we can Dark Confidant to keep drawing. I kind of just want a Dark Confidant, though. Legion Excruder, 2 damage to any target. Kill the bat, get back the Food Fight, and then Food Fight can, like, turn... They have plenty of mana. Artifacts you control have pay 2. Sack this artifact, deals damage to any target equal to 1+ the number of permanents named Food Fight. So they have 1 Food Fight. So it deals 2 damage to any target. So they sack the Grim Bauble by paying 2 off the Jewel. They have a land... Okay, that's it. That's all they can do this turn. We have lots of hasty cards here. Well, we have 1 hasty card at least. You're a hasty skeleton boy. Attempt the attack. Another one of these guys. They actually have a hard time targeting it, don't they? We can play the Dark Confidant, but they just kill it really easily. Whereas they have a pretty hard time killing the Saboteurs with the Ward 1, Ward discard. So I think that's the route we're going here. They take the Scry. Next turn they can get 4 life, which is big. 1 to the bottom, okay. But the Ward discard is going to be a little bit difficult for them. I guess they can draw with the Tome, get an extra card. Sack one of these, discard a card, kill a Saboteur. Could sack the Jewel to do the same thing. To kill both Saboteurs and be down all their cards. Demonic Junker. Alright, destroy our draw engine. Preacher down. No cards in hand to target the Saboteur. They can kill the Miner if they want. I don't know what we do with the Dark Confidant. Because I think they're just going to kill it immediately, but I guess we have to get through it. You're a human knight, not a skeleton. I think everyone gets in there. Even if they make a 3/3, they can either trade with the Miner, they can't block the Menace creatures. Yeah, we trade with the Miner. We can eventually get it back anyway. Make the 3/3 a 4/4? Oh, that's interesting. Then we just lose the Miner, right? Okay. Yeah, I guess we still attack here. Or we could just attack with the miner is the other option. This drops them really low, though. Let me just this. They do get a big chunker. They get a 5/5. They drop to 7. We get Cecil the Weasel. Plus, I mean, Dark Prophet is not doing anything in hand. They can kill it, but they have to use resources to do it. We're still presenting a lot of damage. But they can sack multiple things, deal a good amount of damage this turn, or they can sack something to make a 3/3. We don't know what that last card in hand is yet. We're pretty far from flipping the Cecil too. When Cecil attacks, other attacking creatures get indestructible, so they can just play around that too. They can always just use their removal spells before that trigger resolves, if we do manage to flip Cecil. So they have 3 things to sack. They have plenty of mana. They can make 3 3/3s here, right? No, they have to tap, so they can make 1 3/3 and like block and sack. Okay, Pinnacle for 3. They do not warp it because they want the blocker. Manual tap 2 mana. Sack the Enigma Jewel. Kill the Dark Confidant. Okay. One nice thing is if they do block a creature and they kill it, we do get to return to Course of the Lost, which is huge. I think we're still roughly just attack all button here. Alright, they sack a creature now, make a 3/3. They have 2 mana open. So they could, like, double block. That guy's haste too, that's not so bad. I think it's pretty much attack all button here. We'll just pump the single 5/5 to the moon and try to trade with everything else. Because now even our 3/3s trade, and if anything, guys, we get back the corpses, we can replay it. Double block there, we eat the 3/3. Currently have 10 damage. Block there, take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. I think there's no way to... Oh, they have the food fight too. Okay, so they kill one of those, and they take 6. They drop to 1 here, I think. Because they can sack one of these guys. Okay. Drop to 1. We lose a little bit of life. We do get the corpses back. We'll take the action. Drop to 14. So we'll have 3 hasty... We'll have 3 attackers plus a menace. And I don't anticipate a fling. Okay, that guy does not have haste though. So he cannot just start dealing damage. Tragic Trajectory can kill the 1/1 blocker. Whoops. That was a mistake on my part. We should have done Tragic... I guess they can sack the artifact in response anyway, so there's not really a point in trying to Tragic Trajectory here. Because if we do it, they just sack the artifact. Okay. But again, we do have the Tragic Trajectory on the 8/8 at some point. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. Too bad it doesn't come in tapped and attacking. If we had used Tragic Trajectory first to target, we actually would have gotten both those back. So that was a mistake. If we used that before combat, even if they sacked in response, we'd get the crime trigger, get them both back. They both have haste off Corpse of the Lost, and that would have for sure been lethal. Okay, I think we're 5-0 maybe? I guess we'll try to get 7 if we can. Might as well, I suppose. Nimzor says, Simulacrum, who would have guessed? Barf barf. Not that it affected the game, but there was the option to level station, the planet land, which would have been cool to showcase. Yes, I agree. I think I acknowledged that like 2 seconds later, but yes. SDREHXC says, this deck is already pretty gross. Honestly, not looking forward to play against it. Yeah, we'll see if it ends up being super popular. Latham 101 says, I think repurposing Bay needs to be a 4 of, and Thousand Moon Smithy can be replaced by the Fire Crystal. The sooner you can get Synthesizer online, attack with robots, the better. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters is not true. Surviving matters. The meta's slow enough, you can run all the repurposing bays you want. But if the meta's fast, you do need to interact, which is the non-bay cards. Okay, we're on the draw. We have no 1-drop, but overall we're happy. Left out means I think they're like a Wizard of the Coast employee. Oh my gosh, it's the mirror. Okay, and we're on the draw. Ow. Oh my gosh, we're on the draw, and they have a Dark Confidant. I think you have to just shoot that Sheriff immediately, and hope to come back later in the game. I think Treasure Trajectory can kill most things in the deck. It can't kill the 2/4, but I think we want to be a little more mana efficient here. I think you're dead, and maybe we Dark Confidant Tragic Trajectory next turn. Alright, so the orb does light up. When you do have Void, the little orb does light up with yellow. 16, ow. It's a 3/3, which we don't have to shoot the Sheriff for anymore, which makes us very sad. They sack a creature, they draw a card. We're very much feeling being on the draw here. Preacher's not bad. We could preach here. We only get a 1/1 out of the attack, though, assuming it does not get annihilated immediately. Okay, that's an interesting one. Maybe you commit a crime, put a +1 counter on it. Let's see if they do commit a crime. I'm just going to annihilate my Preacher. Let's go for the Throat as well. Tiny Bones, that is going to be an issue. Let's see. Non-land permanent. Everything here is an issue. If we suicide in the Preacher, they just trade with the Tiny Bones, which isn't so good. If we trade it with the Sephiroth... We kind of want to kill Tiny Bones because next turn it's not great. I think we attack with. I think we kill the Tiny Bones and then. I guess if we suicide in the Preacher, we can also kill the Sephiroth, which isn't bad. It's the same either way, right? It doesn't actually matter which way we do it. As long as we descend, it's the same either way. I guess this gives slightly less information. But I think they trade Tiny Bones with the Preacher. They do. And then we can kill the Sephiroth, although... Oh, is that a trigger? Does that card have text? Eee. Oh god. Oh god. I did not realize that card had more text on it. Oh, that's awful. Okay. Jesus. Alright, so that means... Do we want this guy back? Yeah, I guess so. If we had done it differently... If we killed the thing first... They would have gotten the triggers anyway. No, it would have been the same outcome either way, I think. Yeah, because there's no way to kill the Sephiroth before attacking. Oh, that's awful. But they're going to get a draw no matter what, so we might as well take 5, I guess. Okay. Corpses make some 3/2s. We can't block the Elegy, though. We're just so on the draw this game. I've never been more on the draw in my life. We could double block the Elegy. Trade with the Vladimir? Maybe? Maybe? We could trade the Saboteur with the Elegy, trade the 3/2 with the Vladimir. Maybe just let the Miner through. Or like, even trade with the Miner too. We need a creature or two back to get our own alkaloid attack, ideally. This is awkward because we're screwed if we do, screwed if they don't. I guess they're going to commit a crime at instant speed here, right? Menace and lifelink. Okay, so we hope they only commit one crime, right? It feels like that's what's happening here. And we can block somebody here. Doesn't feel like killing the miner's productive. I feel like they're going to commit a crime one way or another. So let's try this. No? That's it? Okay. Now what? There's the crime. We continue to be on the draw. A saboteur of their own. A Hyler Blade. A 7/2, eh? With Menace. Well, we don't have any other options here. We will chill and see if we can survive one more turn. 4/1 can trade with the Alkaloid. Both 3/2s can trade with the Saboteur. We take 4, drop to 4, keep the Dark Confidant. Hope to draw what? What? They also re-equip the Hyler Blade after combat. They equip it now for 4 to make a 7/5. But they make the Saboteur capable of blocking the Alkaloids. Oh, they don't pay the ward cost. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. I mean, we're pretty effed in the A for the most part. We would like to kill you if we could, I think. I mean, this is what we... we can't really do that, can we? Take 6 isn't so good. I don't know if we can win with and or without the Dark Confidant, right? There's really not a whole lot we can do this game. We dropped to 4. You could try to keep the Dark Confidant around, I guess. They re-equip this for free. It's a 7/2. We draw land. Okay, I don't feel the need to be any more on the draw than we just were that game. Okay, first loss on the day. I think we're 5-2. We could still hit 7 wins before 3 losses. We shall see. I'm down to give it a go. I will say this like format of the early access event with the event is kind of fun. It's kind of cool to have a goal to shoot towards to try to collect those 7 wins. It's nice that we're playing somewhat fast decks. Like I think the next deck I'm going to play is going to be a blue-white control deck, and maybe after an hour we just cut the video early. But at least with the faster decks, it is nice to have a goal to work towards. Sam Markey says, keep in mind you could tap the Tezzeret with braided net to stop abilities. Yes, I also acknowledge I made that mistake after the fact. So, I don't know if this is true. Marco Boss Najovic says, by the way, Pinnacle Star Cage does not give back things when upgraded. It puts them in the graveyard. I believe, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct, only if you pay the 8 mana ability, that puts them in the graveyard. But if you just sack it to the synth, I'm pretty sure you do get it back. In fact, I'm 100% sure, because that happened in one of the games against Covert Go Blue. Alright, I think we're just killing you immediately. I think so. Herd Heirloom, that's scary. Rover, send him right over. 2/2 haste, I think we give him the 2/1 draw free card. Try to just out-card him. He needs 4 power to draw cards off the Herd Heirloom. Tap land. Manual tap on green. Sharp-eyed rookie makes an artifact, I think. Whenever a creature you control enters, if its power is greater than this creature's power. Oh god, what's going on? This is a fight spell, I think. That's bad. I was looking forward to that guy sticking around. Okay, to 18. Probably just the Preacher here. Good blocker and attacker. Cecil's also pretty good, but I think we'll get the Preacher down. Try to draw cards if we can. Trailblazer. Okay, they make a token off the rookie. The rookie's now a 3/3. And they have exactly enough mana to cast one more thing here. Another land. I think Corpse is okay. Oh, Corpses actually can't. Yeah, Corpse can attack in here too. And we can, I think, attack all and then drop a Cecil post-combat. We're tied up, so we do get both triggers, which is nice. Both the draw and the creature. Whoops, free eat there, my bad. I forgot one of them for toughness. That's my bad. Okay, to 16, and probably give him the Cecil, just a very good blocker right now. A couple other things can't attack through profitably. All the 2-powered creatures cannot. Okay, I don't know if they have a combat trick or not. We are about to find out. Take 9. Can give the Trailblaze a draw effect and trample. I wish I had not thrown away my Corpse of Loss, but such is life. This guy's got Vigilance apparently, which is interesting. We dropped to 6. We flipped the Cecil. It's got lifelink. Another rookie comes down. Other attacking creatures get the benefit. Get indestructible. Okay. Feels like we need more blockers than anything else. Basic land card. I don't think I care about that. Attack with both. Make a blocker. Play out 2 more blockers. This would have lifelink. Actually, this would have indestructible, right? As if we feel like we need the chump. We're going to play the Preacher. And we'll get a blocker and we'll play the color. I think it's okay to do this. Okay, kill the 3/3. We go up to 11. Play land. Play the Preacher. Play this random 2/2 guy. Just for normal. We do descend, we'll take that action. Down to 10 with a 2/4 Death Touch blocker and a 2/2 color that can actually come back in. They're going to keep attacking with the Trailblazer here. We will trade it with the color. They do get their trample damage through. Off the Herd Heirloom. Down to 8, draw a card. Trample and haste post-combat. Okay. Pretty good attacks with both Preachers. Play the Corpses as a blocker, maybe, for these guys. And hold Shoot the Sheriff or something. I don't know if they're going to double block this. I feel like they're just going to let these through. Okay, to 11. We each get a lander token, which is interesting. Yeah, we'll play the Corpses. Make a skeleton, we're down to 8. Second clue, draw a card. Second clue, draw a card. Pretty much tapped out here. Good game. They're over it. We have a lot of damage to attack with. Plus we got the Forsaken Miner in hand. Alright, 6-1. We're at the hour-minute mark. We got one more win to go. And then we can wrap up the video. I think. 6-1. One last one to go. Might as well go for it. We could close the video there. Just to keep them to those hour-long videos, but Tentacle says, I fully expected this to jump in power. Okay, you're on the play. Looks good. All right. Potentially the last game. We'll see if we can eke out a win and go 7-1 on the day. It's a 1-mana 2/2. Plains, Seam Rip, Control. Okay. Not a land. We're going to need one more land in our greedy 21 land deck to make this work. Board is difficult to get through for white, though, so maybe this will be a bit harder for them to deal with. Alright, we're going to start buffing their trainer then. Or maybe we try to trajectory if we can't hit land. Another Seam Rip off the top. Well, I guess it's this. Okay, they're pretty happy to discard a card, so they just netted up a card anyway. Thunderclap again, maybe tight on land here. We'll see if they go Plains removal spell. Maybe they're just looking for the ideal card to discard to us. Omniscience to hand. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god, no. Okay. Been a land. We hit the third land here. That's huge. So we can either corpses, then it just trades, which is not as good, or we can preacher, which is probably a little bit better, I guess. Okay, so they do get a counter. I don't know what we're going to do about that just yet. We'll play the Preacher. We'll figure it out later. Omniscience. So there's a way to cheat out Omniscience with the latest set, and I don't know what it is yet, but I am curious to see what it is. Because Repair and Recharge is rotated out. So there's no 4-mana Willow's Awakening from the ban list, and there's no 5-mana... There's got to be something, though. There's like Tolvada's, whatever, in black. No, actually, I think that rotated out, too. Dude, I don't know. We're about to find out, though. Alright, target the Saboteur. It's actually fine because then the trainer doesn't trade with the Schism. Star Cage as well in there. Moraine goes down. We just don't know how they're going to cast Omniscience yet. Another land isn't very exciting. Yeah, it's not... I guess, yeah. I guess we'll play the next Preacher too. The land, okay. I think we'll take what card draw we can. They eat it, so there's no sweeper on the way, I don't think. Fifth land? Overlord, okay, but it does not reanimate anything. Let's see if we can hit a removal spell off the top. No, but that guy does have haste, which is pretty good. Alright. Everyone looking big. Draw 2. Another land. Another land. Trades must be made. Exactly lethal. Interesting. Trade the flip bits. They don't need to attack and draw. They already have the perfect hand. So I think we're going to see the Omniscience turn this coming turn. I don't remember what card is in Standard. That is blue and white. A new 5-mana or 6-mana Reanimator? I don't know. I don't remember. Yes, if they do this, we get Corpses back to hand, which is pretty good, and then we can double Corpses next turn. But it must be done. They have no choice. There's no block they can make. They could block the token. They could block the Skeleton token, and then we would not get Corpses back. That is their other choice here. Okay, double trades. Down to 5 with corpses on the way. Yes, take the action. Okay, we have 6 mana here. Let's see if they can win. I feel like not, because the double block implies they don't just have the auto win, I think. Touch the seam rip. I don't know. I want to see it though. I want to know what it is. I don't want to lose, but I am very curious what the reanimator thing is. Or there's an alternative cheat, like maybe you cheat it in a different way. Maybe it's not technically reanimating from the graveyard. I mean, I don't think they have the nuts, right? They had the nuts, they just fire it off and go Omniscience. Nope. Feels like game to me. They could go land, seam rip this. Nope. Okay. Skeletons, busted and broken. You won't believe this deck. This deck might be a problem. Okay. Draw a card. Okay, and we finished the day 7-1 for the second time in a row. I do think this deck is good. I think it won't be as good in ranked best of 1 standard. I think it was pretty good in best of 3 standard. I bet it still is pretty good in best of 3 standard, if you can find some good sideboard options. I mean, it's the early access event, you know? Opponents are not crazy. We're not crazy today. I think the most useful conclusion to draw here is what do I actually think of the 4-1 and the hasty one. And honestly, I'm not super sold on it. I think I'd rather keep the bat. The color probably is going to be a way better in like a Sephiroth sack deck. Like this guy could for sure find a home, but I don't think this is necessarily the one for it. I don't know that I'd run any of the Saboteur. It hits very hard. But it is a little bit awkward to navigate around the counter pumping up their target. We only have so many shoot the sheriffs. If we had a more consistent way to Tragic Trajectory, and this could kill the big creatures that garner the counters off the Saboteur, I'd be a little bit happier, but it's not always obvious how we're going to hit Tragic Trajectory before combat starts. And I do think the bat is really important into like the Alkaloids. Corpse of the Lost ended up being an OP, you know, overperformer today. It isn't always, but it did do really well today for sure. So overall, it's going to be a strong deck. I don't know that I would blow your rares on the Sunset Saboteur just yet. I do think the bat is still really very good, especially in a kind of Gixie, draw a card every time you attack type deck. So yeah, we'll call it there. If you enjoyed today's video, you can like and subscribe and leave a comment. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.